Hello, and welcome to this training on a tool called ClassroomScreen. You can see at the bottom of this page that we're on, and we're at ClassroomScreen.com, it says why users often describe ClassroomScreen as a teacher's best friend. Well, I will tell you, I was talking to a fifth grade teacher who said and called this a game changer for her. Now, the idea behind ClassroomScreen is that you can customize a kind of background screen or a tab that you have open for your class that has all sorts of widgets and items on it to help you to stay organized throughout your class session. So you can see here, there are several things just as examples here, a stoplight, a QR code, you can do polling, a timer, and so on. I'm going to show you how this is all going to work. But essentially, again, this is a screen that you can have pre-populated with widgets and items to help you to more seamlessly move through your content for your class. This could be an online class where you are working synchronously together over Zoom or Google Meet, or this could be in person. It would work well either way. So I'm going to actually move you to a screen that I've already set up just to give you an idea of some of the things that you can have on your screen and ways you might use it. Let me move there now. Now, before I get into the specifics here, I should mention that, like with most tools, there is a free version that I'm using here, and there are also a paid version that will allow for more functionality, and I'll point those out as we go. So as you can see here, I have populated my screen with several different widgets. In this particular case, we are having the class go over and really discuss and dive in to the Ukraine-Russia conflict. So a few of the widgets that I put on my screen is I have a date up here at the top, which is just a text box. I have two videos that are preloaded that all I need to do is click the play button and they will play for us. No ads, no other distractions around the YouTube page that you would normally see if you were playing it from YouTube. So let me just show you here.
Ukraine dates back many decades. At the heart of the
okay, and same over here.
Illustrate to educate. Don't forget to subscribe.
All right, you get the idea. These can, all of these widgets can be resized, and if you click on them, you can see that there's also settings options where you can change the color and customize a few things here. That's where you put in the URL to your video. So those are pretty simple. Again, all of these can be resized, and you can even change font, things like that. This is also a text box. This lets me show the students what we're going to be doing today so that there's no question when they come in, they can see the 5 things we're going to be doing. A couple of other things I have here on this page. I have a timer. This is going to help me later when we have small group work. I also have a Nearpod, just another tool that I'm going to have us use in class today, and that's over here. This might be handy to not only have the students connect and you can pull up the Nearpod presentation from here, but I wanted to show you that you can embed things onto the page, and that's how I did this one. And this one is a group random picker. So if I click this little orange button down here, it will automatically say, okay, group 5. This is helpful down here when I'm going to have the groups come back and I'm going to say, somebody from your group, tell me what you talked about. Now, I had this listed as a Zoom breakout, but if you are in class, obviously they would work in person and this would just be small group discussion. These are just a few of the things that I can do and bring into my classroom screen page. Let me show you down here at the bottom of my page. This little up arrow shows me all the different widgets that I can put onto my classroom screen. This is a background option. That's how I put the flag in the background here, so you can choose your own background that you would want. It also gives you one randomly that you could use as well. You could ask a poll question, so you can see here there's multiple choice and you can make it smiley or true false, so you can set up a poll for your class. A good maybe beginning thing to do at the beginning of the class or at the end to see how they feel about the class. These are easy to delete out as you add them. I should also point out here, see these numbers? It tells me how many of those widgets or tools I already have on my screen. So I already have the name over here. I already have 2 text boxes. I have a timer and so on. QR code I showed you at the very beginning was an example. As an example, you can have on your screen. This one's kind of neat. This one's a sound level. So if I add this one in, I can set where my max is. Do you see where it's giving me the red and it's dinging because it's picking up my voice on this video and it's telling me I'm at the max. This would also, if you have a microphone in the classroom, it would pick up that as well. So it's kind of helpful if you're trying to keep the noise level somewhere specific. You can add in any images that you want. Maybe it's just an image that starts off the discussion for the class and you say, what do you think of this image and what comes to mind when you see it? Text boxes are pretty easy. You can have a drawing area where you could draw on the screen. These work symbols might be handy. There are several options here. This maybe means it's quiet in the classroom. This one's mean you can whisper. This is you're asking a neighbor if you need help. And this is you can work together. So maybe you have this on the screen and it lets the students know what they should be doing for today's lesson. So maybe this even changes. When they come in, we need them to be silent. But when we get to our group discussion, we're going to say to work together on that. So this is just a visual way to let the students know what they should be doing at this particular time. A traffic light, this might be something where you could say, is the teacher taking questions right now? So it might be green. Go ahead and ask me whatever you need to. I want you to really think about that question and see if you really need to ask me, or nope, no questions at this time. I want you to try to work on your own or with your partner. A timer, I have over here already. A clock, you could bring up a clock to let them know what time it is. Maybe it's something that you're working on, telling time. You could use that. Here is our more widgets. So we've got a few more things down here, including a calendar. Dice, you might roll the dice to start a game, or to even, you can see what they look like here. And there are rolling of dice. So maybe that you're incorporating into something that you're doing, calling on a person or a group. Here's our embed. That's how I brought in our Nearpod here. If you're familiar with embed codes, you can bring in any kind of embed code to the screen that you have. This will help us to make our groups and create groups. So what this does is it will read a list of student names that you have, and I'll show you where you can make those. And then if I choose to create the groups, it will automatically put those names into different groups. Maybe that's how you're going to have them work today in those small groups. So this will take, again, a pre-created list of student names, and I'll show you where you have those, and it'll create groups for you. That's handy. Okay, we also have a stopwatch. You can actually bring in a webcam. I won't do that since I'm making a video of this, but you can actually record, or rather bring in your webcam and so your face is on here as well. And you can also bring in videos, and that's how I did this here. You can also turn on this edit option where you can drag and adjust the layout of how you see these. So maybe you want certain ones to be in that first line so that they're more easily accessible. Okay, so those are all the things that you can add in to your page. I want to show you also in this upper left-hand corner, this home area and some of the options that are behind here. All right, so when you click on that home area, you're going to see a few things up here at the top and a couple things on the side and in the middle. A workspace are all of your screens for that session. Now, the biggest thing between the Pro version, you can see here, and the free version is that your screens will only be saved until you close your tab. So once I close my tab, I have to recreate my screen. Whereas with the Pro, you can save those screens in your backgrounds. So, and color themes and so on. So you can continue to create new screens. Maybe you have, maybe this is for bells 1, 3, and 5, and you have a different screen for 2, 4, and 6. Those will all stay until you close that tab. So just make sure you remember that and keep that in mind so that you don't accidentally do that and you have to recreate them again. Your name lists, I mentioned to you, you can have a name list. These are saved as long as you log in. You can create a free account and log in. Those lists, those groups and name lists are saved for you. So remember I told you there were all these names and it will create the groups for you if you choose to. Those were saved and it was pulling from this list. So you can create those here and add your students to it. Here are your backgrounds. I can upload my own here, which is what I did for this classroom screen that I'm looking at here. And this is where they're saved for this session. And then a few other setting options that we've got here, your dashboard color, language, and so on. Let me go ahead and go back to our screen. Okay, here it is again. Just a couple of last minute things here. You have got a couple of settings here. You can name and give a description for your screen that you have here so that you can more easily remember what it was here instead of just new screen. You can also go full screen if you want to. That is the gist of your classroom screen. If you did decide to upgrade, it is $30 a year for the pro version. You can decide if that's worth it or not for you. But even the free version, I think it could really help to facilitate either a synchronous online class or a face-to-face class where you have all of your materials already put together for you on one screen. You're not scrambling and flipping between different tabs to get to the different YouTube videos you have, or to get to a group or an individual student random picker, a timer. These would all be kind of separate things you'd have to flip through on your screen, but in this case it's all on one screen. Oh, I should have mentioned too, you can minimize this so it's out of the way. So this is, again, ClassroomScreen.com. There is a free version, which is what I just showed you here. You can log in so that some of your items, like your group or your student name lists, are saved. And hopefully this will help facilitate you in the classroom. Good luck.